Well, hello and welcome to our fifth video of the series on how some of the most important Excel features work. So far we have covered what a VLOOKUP function is, we had two examples on that, then we worked on data tables, we understood them, and then we moved on to conditional formatting and how important that could be if you have a variable or a cell that you wanted to stand out if it matches a certain criteria. But today we're gonna move on to Solver and we're gonna see how Solver works. Sorry about that. And if you recall, we're gonna use this example, and it might look familiar if you have watched the previous videos. If not, I highly recommend them. So everything will make sense if you watch the previous videos, but if you haven't, that's okay. This should be straightforward. Anyways, this table, as mentioned, it looks familiar, and that is the second problem we had on VLOOKUPs. So that's where I got the data from. Okay. So let's see what our task is for this video, and let's take a look on how could we possibly implement Solver. I shouldn't say possibly, I should say how are we going to implement Solver on this. Okay. So the task says that we're gonna find the optimal hourly rate given a few constraints. Our management team come and tells us, hey, you know what, we want to maximize our budget and we have $15,000 to spend on salaries. So as you can see right here, we're currently only using $12,000, so this means we still have some room to increase salaries, the salaries of our employees over here, in order to maximize our resources and utilize $15,000. Okay? But they also tell you that the minimum we're gonna pay our employees over here, we're gonna pay all of them at least, this is not working, let me do it here, we're gonna pay them at least $15, okay? And then the second constraint that they give us is that the marketing department, they're gonna have a cap or a max salary of $32. As you can see, marketing, they're currently making $25. So yeah, we could increase their salary, but it could not exceed $32. Then let's take a look at sales. They also have a cap, and it's an $18 cap. They're currently making 15. Okay, so we could play with those numbers. And finally, the minimum amount we're gonna pay our research and development as well as our accounting department, it's gonna be $30. Accounting is right on the limit, and research and development, they are making a lot of money. Okay, so hang out with them because they've got money. So let's take a look. How could we possibly do this? One way to do it is by trial and error. Okay, what that means is we could change these variables and play with them until we get our total budget down here to match those $15,000. So let's take a look what happens if we increase the marketing department salaries to $29. Look, we're not there yet. What about accounting? Let's make them earn $45 per hour. Okay, we're getting closer. Sales, they're probably gonna make 18 bucks. Nope, not yet. So we could increase marketing to 32. Oof, just over $100 over. Let's see, let's decrease the salary to 17. Oof, we're just $7 off. That's impressive. Actually, I wasn't expecting to see a result this close, but as you can see, this process could take forever, and we might not ever find the answer because there is so many variables that we have to play with, and it would just be a random selection trying to get this number to match the requirement of 15,000. As I said, in this case we were pretty close. That's impressive. Okay, but that never happens. That could take forever, especially if we have a lot of variables. So to save ourselves some time, Excel has a feature called Solver, which basically solves our lives. That's what it stands for. Just kidding, I'm making that up, but in essence, that's what it does. It helps us solve these type of problems and save us a lot of time. So right here we could see the location on where to find Solver, and we're gonna go to data. On top in the ribbon, we're gonna go to data, analysis, and you see right on the top we have Solver right up there. So let's click on it. But before we go there, just a small refresher that greater than and less than, their symbols are this one, greater than and less than. That's, you never know, that could be helpful at some point today. Okay, so let's click on Solver, and boom, we get all this crazy table asking for a lot of information, which I'm deleting because I previously filled it up just to test it out. But okay, let's take a look at what Excel is expecting from us in order to make this work. The very first thing, it's asking for the objective. It's saying set the objective. Which one is the objective? So the overall goal is the very first one, to maximize our budget to $15,000. So that means that our objective is our budget. So we're gonna select that cell right here, G23, because that's the one we want to change to 15,000. Okay, now right here it basically tells us, okay, what do you want to do with that cell you selected? What do you want to change it to? You want to maximize it, minimize it, or do you have a specific value you're thinking of? And we do. We said it's gonna be 15,000. Perfect. Now the next question is, by changing what? What do you need to change for the budget to change to $15,000? What is it that you could change? What's a variable that you have? As you know, the variables that we're gonna be using is the hourly rates we're paying our employees. We could make them more hours, but no, we're just gonna increase their salaries. Okay, so we select the whole range of salaries. Oops, and we click here. Okay, and now the next step is the one that I had to write this reminder on the side just in case. And here's where we're gonna enter all of our constraints. Okay, the very first one says that the minimum hourly rate for everyone, it's gonna be $15. So how do we ensure Excel knows that? We add a constraint, and right here they tell you, okay, what is it that you're changing, or what is it that you want to constrain? So we click here, and of course we want all of these salaries, so we select all of them to be greater than or equal to, so we're just adding the equal to this, or equal to what we said, 15. So everything should be at least $15. Okay, now we could add the next constraint that says that the maximum the marketing department could make is $32. So we don't want to make it more than 32. Okay, those are market rates, but I'm making those numbers up. So we come here and we say we want this cell B4, which is the marketing salary or the marketing hourly rate, to not exceed. So we're gonna say this one has to be less or equal than 32. Okay, we could click OK, or we could just simply move on to the next one and click add. So let's do that one for now. Add. What's the next one? Sales. So let's click on sales. Their cell is B6, and we don't want to make it more than $18. That's their cap, so we want them to make less or equal than $18. Okay, we have two more constraints, and that is that the minimum we're gonna pay the research and development department, it's gonna be 30 bucks. So we select research and development. Remember, they were our rich friends, they're making 50 already, so they might take a cut, but let's see what happens. And we say that they have to make at least $30, so greater than or equal to 30 bucks. Perfect. Now we add the last one, and it is the same one, but now for accounting, we want accounting to make at least, so greater than or equal to 30. And that's everything. Okay, so please pay attention right now. I'm gonna click solve, but pay attention on how these rates are gonna change and how the budget, it's gonna equal to $15,000 exactly, and all of the conditions we have down here are gonna be met. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. It worked, as you can see down here. Let me erase this because I got too excited. Over here, 15. We see, let's check the constraints. Everyone making more than 15 bucks. Correct. Marketing department making more than 32. Nope, they're just at 32, so that's correct. Sales making more than 18. They're at 17, so it's correct. And R&D making, let's see, R&D, they are still making 50. Never mind, they're still a rich friends, and accounting at 45. So it worked. But there is something special. If we include some decimals here, you're gonna see how difficult this could have been, because it's $50.03, but you can see all the decimals that Excel calculated, or accounting, yeah, 3 cents. So research and development actually get a raise of 3 cents. That's good, I guess. But yeah, so you see what Solver does. It helps us avoid trial and error. It'll just find an exact match based on the specific criteria that we provide, and it could really save us a lot of time when trying to find a specific number. And you can see how many decimals it has. Like, it is on point, it is extremely accurate. Okay, so for our next video, we're gonna be talking about some if statements and how useful they could be whenever we just want to add variables that meet a certain criteria. We're still on the same series, so we're still gonna use this data that was provided at the beginning of the series. So please join me for that one. That one's very useful as well. And thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions on the comments, and I will try to address them as soon as possible.